Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Shikha, your functional medicine nutritionist, and I'm going to speak to you today about the most asked question, and that is about acidity and bloating. So let's begin today. I've seen so many generic videos floating on internet about what is the hack to improve your acidity. But before you actually blindly follow these hacks for acidity, I want you to know that without understanding the root cause of your acidity, you cannot have a treatment for it. So I have treated so many of my patients improving their acidity and gut health issues by knowing the root cause and setting up the right kind of treatment for them. And for that reason, today in this video, I'm going to talk about the 6 exact root causes that is commonly seen which is leading to acidity issues. So let's dive into this. This entire video is divided into 6 chapters. What is acidity? What are the stages of acidity? Why stomach acids are important? What are the ways to check the low stomach acids? What is the effect of long-term use of antacids? And the 7 takeaways to work on your acidity. So what is acidity? As the name suggests, acidity is the feeling of burning sensation that one feels after having certain foods or maybe staying empty stomach for a long time. Now this burning feeling is basically because of low stomach acid issues. A lot of people think that it is high acid issues, but no, it is a low stomach acid issue which is also known as hypochlorhydria. And in a chronic condition where the stomach acids are so low, it leads to achlorhydria, where there is absolutely very less production of stomach acids. Now this is very commonly seen, but people think it is a high stomach acid issue. I have explained this in a better way in my other video. You can go and watch that. The link is also in the description. So make sure that you watch it because it actually is going to help you to understand what exactly is acidity all about. Now you must be thinking that how come the low stomach acid is giving you that acidity issue? So basically when the stomach acids are low, it can loosen up the sphincter muscle, and when this sphincter muscle, which is keeping the food intact in the stomach and not allowing it to come into the esophagus, it remains open, and whatever that little undigested food is there and that little acid, it starts coming up in the esophageal line, and that gives a lot of burning sensation, and that is what is acidity all about. Now let us see what are the stages of acidity. So initially one would feel very simple things like feeling that burning sensation or heartburn kind of a feeling, a little burning feeling in the chest area that can happen. Sometimes the tightness can also be there. That kind of feeling can come as an initial stage. Some people will also feel the sensation of bloating or gas, that is stage 1. Eventually, if it remains untreated for a long time, then it can lead to chronic gastritis kind of issues where the stomach lining has got affected. And eventually, even if that is ignored completely and that is not treated in the right way, then it can also lead to the last stage, which is the ulcer, which is a very chronic issue, and that needs to be supervised by the doctor. In this video, I will specifically talk about the stage 1, which is the acidity, bloating and gas problem that comes with low stomach acid issue. Gastritis or anything that is chronic related, I will try and make some other video next time because it's a very elaborate topic. Now, why stomach acids are so important? I'm going to specifically talk about 4 things here. Before that, you need to know that the stomach has an acidic pH. It is not neutral or it is not alkaline. So it is very important to have that acidic environment to be able to break down the food very well. So the number one thing that is very important for stomach acids to break down is not to have any kind of entrance of the pathogens or the bacteria to enter in the stomach, because that can lead to food poisoning or any kind of complications or bacterial overgrowth over time if stomach acids are going to be low. Second important thing is that it activates an enzyme called as pepsin, which is very important to break down the protein. A lot of people will complain of having acidity specifically if they have some kind of a protein, like they have chicken or they have some kind of a heavy food which is loaded with proteins. They will come up with a lot of acidity kind of issues in such a case. So this simply means that your stomach acids are low. It also activates the intrinsic factor, which is extremely important for the B12 absorption. So if your stomach acids are going to be low, this intrinsic factor will not be activated, which will lead to poor absorption of B12. So a lot of acidity patients will also come up with issues like low B12 levels. Sometimes they take the supplements also, it is still very low. This means that your stomach acids are very low. It is also important for the ionization of a lot of minerals, specifically iron, calcium, magnesium, zinc. This is very important here because a lot of patients again will come up with things like iron deficiency anemia, and this is again related to low stomach acid issues. Now, how to know if you have low stomach acids? It's a very simple thing. You can look out for these kind of symptoms. Number 1, of course, if you feel acidic, if you feel that there is heartburn, you feel that tightness in the chest, or if you have bloating or gas kind of problems, especially after eating the meal, like immediately after having a meal, if you feel something like this, then this can actually be a sign of low stomach acid, which is extremely important for you to know. Because sometimes some people will also say that, there is some kind of a liquid ball that is in their stomach for a very long time, that is not just breaking down, that is also a sign of low stomach acid. So these are the primary symptoms that one should actually look for. In some of the cases, patients will be like, I have bloating by the end of the day, like the stomach starts growing, and by the end of the day, the stomach is really bloated enough. If that is the case, then this can be a significant sign of small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is SIBO. This is a very elaborate topic. It's a very different topic altogether, where we can discuss in some other video. But here I'm talking about the primary symptoms. If you feel this immediately after having the meals, all these primary symptoms of acidity, bloating and gas, then this can be a low stomach acid issue. You can also look out for these kind of symptoms, that if you have some kind of a protein and if you feel very acidic, if you feel too heavy, you feel that it is staying in the stomach for a very long time, can also be a significant symptom of low stomach acid. Otherwise, you can also do a burp test, which I had done a long time back. You can find the video here or in the description box, so you can go and watch that. This is a simple test you can do at home to understand if you have low stomach acids. Now let us see what are the effects of long use of antacids. Now I understand a lot of people have so much acidity problem that they keep popping in the pills for antacids on daily basis or the regular basis without even understanding that what is the long-term effect of these antacids. Now you need to understand one thing. In a lot of cases, of course, antacids are extremely important. If there is H. pylori infection, if they are under certain kind of a treatment, it is very important to take that during their treatment time. But you need to also understand that if you don't fix your stomach acids, eventually your stomach acids will become lower and lower. Now how? Because antacids is something which is going to neutralize your stomach acids. It is going to block the production of the acids so that you don't have that acid feeling. Now overuse of these antacids will lead to suppression and constant suppression of the stomach acids, which eventually, suppose you used to have any kind of episode maybe once in a week and you are constantly taking these pills regularly, eventually what will happen is that your episodes of acidity will keep on increasing with time. So you will have to depend more and more and more on these antacids. So I'm not saying that you stop having antacids, please consult your doctor for this, but you also have to work on your lifestyle changes, because if you don't work on that, if you don't work on your stomach acids, don't improve the stomach acids, it will become like a permanent damage for you, and I don't want you to certainly have this kind of a pain. Now, I want you to know about the 6 common causes of having low stomach acids which no one told you, and number 1 of that is the magnesium deficiency. So many of us are magnesium deficient, which we don't even know, because of the soil erosion, because of the food that has changed over time, the quality has changed. There is very less magnesium in our diet these days. So if you are planning to do a blood test for magnesium, there is no point of doing that, because the magnesium is inside the cells, it is not in the serum. So there is no test for that to check if your magnesium levels are fine or not. It is very important for us to know that the daily requirement is at least 400 mg per day, and that is not fulfilled through the diet, unfortunately. Most of us are magnesium deficient, and this can actually be a very important factor to reduce the stomach acids, because for the production of stomach acids, one needs magnesium. So if you are going to be magnesium deficient, the stomach acid production will not really happen properly. Next is high cortisol level. Cortisol is basically a stress hormone. If you have very high stress levels, and that too a persistent stress, when you remain in the fight and flight mode constantly, it is shown to reduce the stomach acids by 80 to 90%. So if you are living in fight and flight mode, you have to shift to rest and digest mode to be able to see the difference in your stomach acids. Next very important one that is commonly seen is H. pylori overgrowth. Now we all have H. pylori to some extent, but it is not overgrown. But if the stomach acids is going to be much lower, this bacteria can actually have the opportunity to grow more in the stomach. Now when this overgrows, it can start eating up the gut lining, and when that starts happening, it leads to eventually gastritis or ulcer kind of issues. So it is very important to take care and also understand from the doctor if you really have H. pylori infection or not. Next is constipation. Yes, a lot of people come up to me and tell me that they have acidity issues, and when I ask them about their history, about their gut health, I come to know that a lot of them have constipation issues, because a lot of studies have shown that there is a very strong relation between the constipation and GERD issues. So if you have constipation and it is untreated, then acidity is bound to be there. Next is hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism is one condition where all your basic functions of your body like digestion, reproduction, metabolism, everything is slowed down. So it is seen that in hypothyroid patients, the stomach acid production is reduced, which leads to acidity. Next, again, a very common symptom that I see with my patients is the food intolerances. I see them consuming a lot of food which they are eating from their childhood, but unfortunately is not working for them, that eventually starts leading to low stomach acid issues. Common of them which I have seen is wheat, maida, dairy, fructose, or any form of sugar, and lot of refined foods. In some of the cases, I also see very chronic things like nuts, some kind of proteins which they are not able to break down very easily. So understanding the food intolerance is very important to work on your stomach acids. So the point of giving you all these causes is that if you see on internet anywhere these are the hacks to work on your acidity, please go ahead and do that. But if it is not working for you, if it is not giving you any kind of results, it is very important for you to understand the root cause of what is exactly giving you this acidity, because unless you fix that, you will not be able to treat your acidity permanently. Now in this chapter, I am going to talk about the 7 basic rules that any stage patient of acidity has to follow, no matter whatever you have, if you have gastritis, ulcer, or basic acidity or bloating kind of issues. I have divided this actually into the second part for you. In the second part, I will talk about each of these causes and what are the ways to actually hack it in a much detailed manner. But in this video, I am giving you these 7 takeaways that you have to follow no matter whatever stage of acidity that you have. So let's begin. Number one thing, you will eliminate any kind of food triggers, because you never know if you really have food sensitivity. I have seen this with my patients that the minute they eliminate these kind of food triggers, they see a lot of improvement in their acidity then and there. So eliminate wheat primarily, don't have milk, don't have paneer, don't have any kind of sugar kind of foods or refined kind of foods, so that you see some difference at least in 15-20 days. If you have any kind of food intolerance, you will see the difference immediately. Next is chewing your food really well. This is so important, but this is so underestimated. Chew your food really well so that it is broken down properly and the stomach does not have to have so much of pressure of breaking it down. Next is maintain healthy meal timings. Don't try to do a lot of fasting or intermittent fasting. I completely understand that there's a whole trend of doing intermittent fasting these days, but it is very individualistic. You cannot follow everything generic. What works for you right now as a basic thing is to maintain a healthy timing of your meals and do not deviate too much, and try and maintain that consistently every day to see the difference in your acidity. Next, do not have water along with your meals. Make sure to have it 1 hour before or after 1 hour of your meal, because we don't want to neutralize the stomach acids. So please make sure that you're not combining solid and liquid together. Next, do not lie down immediately after having a meal. Make sure that you are in the upright position. If you want to really lie down, then put 3-4 pillows at least so that you are in the elevated position. Please do not lie down immediately. Next tip is very important, and that is the stress management. It is so important because all of us are working today and we live in this digital era where we are so much exposed to the digital thing, and we are all sedentary people. So work on your stress management. So 2 techniques which are my favorite that I tell my patients is, one is tapping method. So I'm giving you this tapping method link in the description. You can definitely go and watch that on how to actually work on your stress management. This is very effective and my favorite technique too. Second is meditation. If you can listen to a nice guided meditation, that will also be very effective in reducing your stress levels right now. Last but not the least, you have to avoid smoking and drinking, because that is one of the major factors to reduce the stomach acids further. If you're stressed plus you are having these kind of things, then definitely stomach acids will never be able to improve. So make sure that you stop having your smoking and drinking habits immediately if you are suffering from acidity. So this was about the 6 major causes of acidity. I hope you found this useful because I've given you exactly what I use for my patients' treatment. So if you have any questions, any queries, please write it in the comments. I would love to hear your questions, and I would also like to make some more videos out of it. So make sure that you also subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon, because I'll be making a second part of this video very soon, so that you understand what is the way to actually work on the acidity effectively. So with that, I'll take a leave and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.